Good evening. The time is 6:01 on September 23rd, and I call this meeting of the Clear Creek Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called and that its notice has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Our first item on the agenda is to go into closed session, and so the board will now move to closed session as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.001 concerning purposes permitted by the Act, including 551.071 consultation with attorney, 551.072 deliberation regarding real property, and 551.074 deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignments, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public employee, or to hear a complaint or charge against an employee. And we'll go into closed session at 6:02. evening. The time is 6:47, and I'll call us back into open session. And we will move to the next item, which is Pledge of Allegiance and Texas Pledge.
I believe Katie Carter is going to join me. Thank you, Katie. Yes, come on up. Come on. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, well, I am very excited to be here with Katie again this evening, a Clear Springs High School student. And as part of the launch of our 2025-2030 strategic plan, we asked students to design a mission patch that reflects our vision, which is to empower every student with a world-class education that ignites passions and fuels endeavors. We had incredible designs to choose from. Sure. Well, it was Katie Carter's design that rose to the top, and we unveiled her patch at our convocation before 5,000 employees. Katie, who is from, as I said, Clear Springs High School, and her mom were able to join us during that convocation. And we would like to do more, really like to publicly, in front of our board and everybody, thank you, Katie, for bringing our vision for our students through a thoughtful mission patch that we can share with everyone. And the mission patch will be included on the back of our recognition medals that our board presents during every meeting, and the recognition portion of the school board meetings will now be called Endeavor Awards. So thank you, Katie, for that, and congratulations. Your patch will be shared with everybody. Congratulations. Let me show her right here. This is your patch, and it's on the back of every medal. Oh, so anyway, I know. We're going to get a picture.
Get a picture with the teacher.
Come on up, y'all. Yes, Clear Springs. Woohoo! Oh no, you can get on the other side of the patch. You were the inspiration. Oh yeah. We're so excited. I know. No, but Katie did share with us a little bit about the design. You want to explain that? Do you mind if I give you the mic? And then also kind of the inspiration, the support you had from your teacher, because I know we talked about that. I'm going to give you the mic. Tell us some of the symbolism.
So I chose to put a rocket in the star to kind of show that CCISD is helping students blast off to a bright future. Also, I chose to add 3 different stars to kind of represent how we go from elementary to middle school to like our final step, high school, off to college, and how CCISD really helps us prepare for our future.
Excellent. Thank you. And anything you want to add? How is it working with Katie?
Oh, Katie's one of our, elite students at Clear Springs. We have a lot of talented kids, but I enjoyed working with Katie all through last year in art class, and I've been hounding her already this year to participate in our contests and things again. So, yeah, look forward to seeing more from Katie.
Thank you both. Thank you so much. And so Katie, every month we're going to give out the Endeavor Award right by your patch, and it'll have your patch on the back. So we are just so thrilled with that. Thank you so much. Well, we have some National Merit Scholarship semifinalists here this evening, and we are excited. We're thrilled to announce that CCISD is home to 23 National Merit Scholarship semifinalists. To put this in perspective, they scored in the top 1% of test takers on the 2023 preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship qualifying test, the PSAT NMSQT, to become semifinalist. This is a significant accomplishment. Each year, around 16,000 high school students who are the highest scoring in each state earn this distinction. They will now move forward to be considered as a finalist, which involves an extensive application, write an essay, and earn SAT and ACT scores that confirm their performance on the qualifying test. So we will go by campus, and I'll ask each of you to come forward, as well as your principal or a campus administrator that is here with you this evening. Okay, and we will start with Clearbrook High School. All right, let's see, Jathniel Allison. Dennis Tran. And Tiffany Tran. And Clearbrook admin.
She's right back there.
Oh, she's on her way? Okay, well, we'll get a picture afterwards when she gets here. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Clearbrook High School. All right, we'll get a picture here right now. Huh? And let me ask just real, so did lead counselor, Miss Candace, anybody, any? Oh, come on up, we'll get a, yes. These lead counselors are very engaged with these national merit semifinals, I promise you. Thank you, yes. Candace, thanks, let's get a picture, that's good. All right, congratulations. Yeah, good job. Hey guys, I'm gonna get y'all to stand right here. We're gonna get them to stand right here. If that's okay. All right, Clear Creek High School, Jack Koss. And Ryan Reddy. Okay, and Clear Creek High School, principal, lead counselor, anybody? Okay, perfect. Clear Falls High School, we have Richard Leon. Richard, come on in. All right, congratulations. Earned a celebration. Earned it, totally. Okay, Manu Vaja. You're gonna dance? No. All right. Okay. Yes, yes. Earned that, totally. Okay, yeah, kind of that. Okay, Clear Lake High School, we have a few names to announce. So we are going to go ahead from Clear Lake High School, Michael Abrego. All right, Arya Chanupa. Arya, congratulations. And Dane. Uh-oh. Good job. Emily Dong. Celia Gafka. Joshua Kenyon. Heather Korth. Anthony Lynn. Angelo Mazzali. Mosley. Ben Mendoza. Drummy Shaw. Colin Shen. Gary Sun. Charles Weatherspoon. Anna Vestala. And Arnold Zhang. Okay, we'll get a lake photo with everybody. Miss Raska, you got your team. Good, good.
Is that your classmate?
Yeah, let's get everybody in together. Hang on just a minute. Oh, perfect. Wait, we'll get everybody and then we'll get a group picture if that's okay.
You have a medal? Run out.
Okay, yeah, Dr. Pittman, are you here? Yeah, we'll get everybody in, y'all. Yes. A lot of work went into this. A lot. Definitely worth photos. This is a very big deal. So just would somebody be willing to share with me? Okay, let's say we've got a freshman here and they aspire to be a national merit semifinalist. What recommendations does somebody have? Who's a volunteer that would like to share? Oh, I'm not surprised.
So I'd say definitely focus a lot on your weaknesses. That's something that's very important in a lot of areas in life, but definitely with this test, you're able to just really hone in on what am I bad at, and every time you get a question wrong, you want to know exactly why did I get that wrong. That's one thing that really separates if you're able to practice well and get top 5%, top 10% versus, as we are very lucky to be here, top 1%. So keep up that growth mindset, power of yet type stuff. Make sure you're focusing on that weaknesses, and just grind at it and stay hard. Right.
Great advice for all of us. Thank you all so much. Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay, we're grateful, and we're going to ask the Clearbrook, would y'all stay after real quick? Everyone else can have a seat, and I believe that Tiffany is here. So perfect. We're going to get a picture with the Brook team with Tiffany, okay? And this is Tiffany Tran, who got here. Here we go, Clearbrook High School.
Jay. Well, yeah, she.
Right here, and more.
Thank y'all. Congratulations. Okay, we are going from excellence everywhere. We are so excited, and to honor Clearbrook High School FFA chapter received the prestigious 2024 Gold Emblem rating at the 96th Annual Texas FFA State Convention. The Gold Emblem rating is only bestowed upon the top 10% of FFA chapters in the state. Congratulations to these students and their teachers for all their hard work. And we have the officers of Clearbrook FFA team here with us tonight. And Dana Morgan, come on down. Go ahead, Ms. Speaks. Yes, y'all come on up. We need a picture for sure. Y'all come on up. Congratulations. We really would like to know what it takes to earn this prestigious award, Golden Award. Someone who's, yeah. There you go.
Yes, ma'am. So this award it recognizes, as you said, the top 10% of the chapters in the state and the top 3% of the chapters in the nation. So we're lucky enough to go represent Brooke at the national convention in a month from now. And this award it recognizes chapters that do different things such as community involvement and leadership success for the students and career growth.
Thank you all so much. Thank you very much.
I don't think she's I'd be curious. We're going to move on to our next agenda item, and it is our district update. Dr. Engel.
Okay, thank you, President Sanchez. Our school year is moving at a great pace and we are making progress on our district goals for the year. There are many metrics we will be sharing with the board monthly, and here are just a few. Attendance, maintaining a 95% or higher student and staff attendance rate. We know when students and teachers are together, academic success follows. As of Friday, our attendance rates were at 96.23% for students and 96.6% for teachers. So congratulations and all of the campuses and teachers and admin that made that happen. September is also National Attendance Awareness Month. We've had public service announcements at our football games, literature sent home to families, and reinforced during parent nights. National Board Certified. This Thursday, more than 180 teachers will come to an informational meeting on how to become nationally board certified. One of our goals this year is to implement a system to encourage support and reimburse educators who seek this rigorous program. To put this in perspective, we have 14 nationally board certified teachers in our district today, and our goal is definitely to increase that. And our Connect CCISD, powered by Parent Square, is rolling out by campus leaders in select campuses across the district. We are hearing great feedback from principals and parents. This is a part of our goal to unify our communications district-wide, and the system will be fully implemented this time next year. Student Health Advisory Committee. I am pleased to share that we have an overwhelming response to our call for volunteers to serve on our School Health Advisory Committee. In just the short window time, we've had 370 parents and guardians apply for the 15-member committee. We will be conducting a lottery for 5 elementary, 5 intermediate, and 5 high school participants next week. For those who are not selected, we will ask them to complete a survey of topics of interest they would like the committee to focus on. And we are just so grateful for our volunteers, parents, and community members that volunteer for all of our committees. And it's just one example. And finally, legislative priorities. The 89th legislative session will begin January 14th, and we are collaborating with our neighboring school districts this week to identify shared topics of interest that we can share with our state legislators. This will be a very important legislative session, especially in additional funding for special education, school safety, and teacher salaries. So we will keep our community informed all along the way during the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Engel. The next item on our agenda is community input. The purpose of community input is for the entire board to receive feedback from citizens. The board will hear public comments but will not respond except as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act to respond to an inquiry by a member of the public or by a board member with a statement of specific factual information, recitation of existing policy, or to deliberate a proposal to place a subject on the agenda for a subsequent meeting. Matters brought forth that require response will be addressed by the superintendent as appropriate. All information is subject to verification. Community input is scheduled for 30 minutes and has two forms. Those requesting to address the board regarding items on the agenda are granted up to 3 minutes to address their topics, and those who sign up to address items not on the board agenda are granted 1 minute. In a district our size, there will certainly be issues or topics which generate considerable interest from the public. It is important that members of our community be able to address the board respectfully, without disruption, and without fear of intimidation from other attendees. On behalf of the board, the superintendent, the CCISD staff, we welcome your input during CCISD school board meetings. We request that everyone exhibit the respect and understanding each person deserves when addressing the school board during the public input portion of the meeting. And our first speaker this evening is Ms. Robin Collins.
Good evening, President Sanchez, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Karen Engel. I first want to thank you all for your service to our community and our students. My name is Robin Collins. I'm the mayor of the city of Kemah, Texas, and I've had the privilege of serving on the city council for 13 years, during which that time I've been very involved with CCISD over the years and the broader community. I'm here today because I've been nominated by the city of Kemah for the Galveston Central Appraisal District Board, and I'm seeking your support. I need the magic number of 834 votes to be selected for this position, and I see this as replacing a former representative who is ineligible due to legislative changes in the last year and term limits. With Proposition 4 passing last year in November, this board will be restructured over the next few years. There will eventually be staggered terms, 4-year terms, and term limits. My experience in local government has instilled in me a very deep commitment to fiscal accountability, ensuring that taxpayer dollars are used wisely. This perspective will be crucial as we work to maintain equitable property appraisals. This directly impacts the school funding and the financial health of the district. If elected, I would be dedicated to building a stronger relationship with this board, keeping you up to date on all relevant issues and ensuring that you are informed of any issues or matters that affect the district. I believe open communication is key to fostering trust and collaboration. I would be honored to have your votes, and more so your trust. Thank you for your time and consideration of me for this board position when you get ready to vote. I did leave some handouts with Greta that she gave you, and all this does is map out the sitting members, and as their boards expire, there will be 4-year terms. And then the other one is the new election cycles that we will have to go through over the next couple of years to get these to 4-year terms and staggered. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you. Next speaker is Tom Davis.
Several months ago, I saluted the CCISD school spirit at all 45 campuses, the All-Star, the Wolverine, and all in between. Today, I salute the American spirit, symbolized by the Star-Spangled Banner. We should see it waving on all of the campus websites, at its daily brisk raising in every classroom and assembly room, and most of all in our implementation of U.S. Code Title 20, Section 1232. It specifies that the teaching of reading, writing, and arithmetic are state and local concerns and family privacy must be protected. Let us daily provide a valid answer to our eternal national question, which I will now sing. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Our next item on the agenda is consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion, or if anyone has any items they'd like to pull.
Yeah, I believe I'd like to pull item 10 for what I hope is an incredibly brief question.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Any other items?
I want to pull item 9.
Any other items? Entertain a motion.
Mr. President,
Mr. Cottrell?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented with the exception of items 9 and 10.
Thank you, Mr. Cottrell. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your hand. That passes unanimous. We'll start with yours, Mr. Larson.
Okay, and this is just a very, very simple one. How many of these cameras are there on these at the two facilities?
Let me check here 1 sec.
And you know, I'm not looking so much for an exact number as I want to get a feel for, you know, what these cameras are. And,
Yeah, so the Challenger project has, this is not exact, maybe around 40 cameras,
okay,
and then the Veterans is a little bit less, maybe 20, but I'd have to go back and check the exact numbers.
okay, so that's quite a bit per camera. Obviously, these are, I presume these things are pretty much hurricane proof, or, you know.
Yes, so these are the Avigilon cameras that we have as a district standard. So they are set for the outside conditions. So when we went out to, when we go out and bid these projects, the type of cameras, the specifications of the cameras are given to us based on the district standards that we have throughout the entire district. So when they're bidding on these projects, they're not bidding on various types of cameras, they're bidding on the cameras that we use. So the cost basically is the cameras that we use plus the labor, and that's where we get the difference in the bids from. So the cameras that we're using in the stadiums are the ones we're using throughout the district for exterior site conditions. And then installation is based on the MEP consultant that we have on board with our district staff that make sure that the installations are done correctly with the proper brackets and the windstorm and all of that, all of those factors.
Okay. Well, then I have a follow-up, and that's, I believe, I looked over the grid for the selection, and one of the items was quality of materials, and if everybody's providing the same camera, how do we arrive at different ratings for quality there?
So you're referring to criteria number 3, which is
Yes.
quality of the offers, goods and services. So when we score these various areas, number 3 typically is for this condition, being that it's the camera itself are all the same. We're scoring on the subcontractor, the contractors that are performing the work.
Okay.
So contractors that have done work in the district prior will obviously score higher because we have experience with them and we've scored them on prior occasions and we've seen the results. Contractors that have not done work yet in the district, it would be unfair to give them the same score because they have not been able to, we have not seen the results, so they will get a lower score. But we also have a factor, number 2, which is their reputation that we get from other districts. And if, for example, if there would be a contractor that would score less here because we've never done work with them, but they score very high from other districts, that all kind of factors into the overall scoring.
So, and, well, I'm sorry, then a third question is, the contractor we selected, have they worked with us before?
No, so the contractor we selected is a contractor out of Dallas that's opening a office in Houston. They are the biggest distributors of the Vigilon cameras in the United States. So they carry the cameras in their warehouse, so they don't have to go and order them out from somewhere else. And we've used them to purchase cameras in the past, but not the installation part.
I see.
So now they do have a large installation part of their company too. So they're eager to get into our district and other districts in the local Houston area and start performing this work.
So we might end up with a bargain there. They might be very, very good, much better than the rating we gave them. And they're a nice low bid.
Typically,
at the same time.
we see the ratings go up after the first job is complete.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Mr. Larson, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, and I know I want to move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation here, but I don't have the. Thank you. I've got it. To approve the construction contract 2024.418 to Digis Security Systems LLC in the amount of $233,998 for replacement of those security cameras.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Are there any other questions or comments from the board?
No, we had the exact same discussion in the finance committee meeting. So.
Seeing no questions, all those in favor, if you raise your right hand, and it passes unanimous. Thank you. Mr. Cunningham.
Yes.
Number 9.
Item number 9. First of all, I just wanted to thank, I know in just an informal conversation that I had with a supporter of fine arts at Springs, but I just wanted to recognize you guys for bringing this and kind of pushing this forward. I know that it was part of Bonds 2023, and originally this was going to be on the schedule to probably be repaired like in the summer. 26, right. So thank you. I just want to go on the record for, going ahead and putting this together, and also working with Falls. I've heard Falls also has some issues as well. It was President Sanchez that said it. I don't think it was at our workshop. Maybe it was an informal, but this is what happens when we let things go because we're trying to be frugal, so to speak. But then after it gets to a certain point, it starts interrupting our students' programs, and we definitely don't want to do that. I also want the public to know how expensive this equipment is, because it's not like it's something you can roll on down to Circuit City or Radio Shack or anything like that and just pick up. It is an extremely expensive piece of equipment that we're talking about here. So thank you guys, and I know the process isn't done because now we have to, if it's approved, put it out for bid, and I know that that's going to take some time.
So what we did to expedite this is we went out and got 2 ILA contractors.
Okay.
So Pasco and Covenant to price everything out for us. We met them out there. We walked with them. We kind of showed them the problems. They analyzed everything, and we came up with a list with them. And then, so this is actually to approve the ILA contract for Pasco. So
Okay.
once it's approved, we'll order this and we will move on this pretty fast. There's still some lead time items.
Right.
So we have a completion date of December, but if we can improve it, we'll try and improve it.
Okay. Fantastic. And the only thing I ask, I know that, there's conversations with some of the booster clubs and things like that. Just, as long as we're transparent and communicate, that this equipment is very hard to get. It's not you know, easily accessible. A lot of times when you order it, the manufacturer has to make it. And that's going to take some time as well. But the board is listening and, you know, working with staff to get things done. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. I did also want to just say thanks, Mr. Aragon and Mr. Miller. I did receive a handful of notes about, you know, about the lights and the fact that they weren't working. We know that across the district, there are parts of infrastructure that over time will start to fail. And on occasion, we can repair things quickly. Parts are not an issue. Maintenance is not as big of an issue. And there are some things that we can't do quite as easily. And so the conversation Mr. Cunningham is referring to is how we connect for our community to know that when we are thoughtful about our planning of infrastructure needs and replacements, priority repairs and replacements, and things that we know based on how long they last typically and the maintenance that we've provided, that when we come forward to the community to talk about the importance and significance of a bond that we know is also serious to ask the community about, that we do it with the intent to not disrupt student instruction and student learning, that we do it not to disrupt the school day and instruction that's happening. And so this does frustrate some families and it frustrates teachers, and we recognize that. I believe we're also trying to do some temporary repairs until we can do the replacement. If that's still a possibility, I don't know if we're still, that was in the November, December timeframe, I believe.
Yeah, so Pasco has reached out to us and said that they can, although they can't make all the lights functional, they can move things around to make them enough functional for performances. So we're working with them on that right now.
Outstanding. And so I also just want to say thank you. I hope for members of the community and for our and teachers and staff that they know these are the reasons, the types of reasons when we go out and put together recommendations, and that the facility advisory committees get to look at what really is needed across the district. So thank you all for that. Any other comments? Yeah.
So my thing is really, it's about what we do in the meantime, right? Because I anticipate this will probably pass tonight. I know that communications have taken place between the district and head principal as well as the visual and performing arts department. It's about making sure that they understand that these things take time, as it's been mentioned. But in the meantime, what support services, how we can, try to work together to kind of get through some of these things, because obviously this isn't just one school, this is two schools, and then the bonds were hundreds of millions of dollars. And as you mentioned, this was a 2026 plan. Here we are, you got it put together, you got everything out there for us to prove it. But we have to make sure that the faculty, the students, the parents, the booster clubs, they all know that we're here to work with them. We want to help your students succeed on stage or in the classroom. So anything that can be offered in support services, make sure that they know that, look, this, just because it's going to take 3 months, 4 months to get this completed, in the meantime, the resources are there, so collaborating with the directors, with whatever kind of lighting, renting equipment, whatever we've got to do, it's, just letting them know, because unfortunately these things happen. But we don't want them to feel like they're alone. That look, we come together, we're stronger together. And so in the meantime, while we wait for the equipment to come in, how can we help? And so I just hope that keeps getting communicated, and the collaboration is there with each of the campus leadership. So keep it up.
We'll give you an update in Friday.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. President, I move that the board approves an ILA by board contract in the amount of $425,000 to Performing Arts Supply Company for the Clear Falls and Clear Springs High School Stage Lighting Controls Project.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you raise your right hand. And that passes unanimous. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is item B, consider adoption of a 2024 tax rate. Ms. Benzai.
Good evening. Tonight marks the final step of our 2024-25 budget and our budget calendar, which is to approve the 2024 tax rate. So back on August 26th, the board approved the general fund budget, which was a total budget of $405 million. You also approved the debt service budget with total expenditures of $101.34 million. So the tax rate that you will vote on tonight will be assessed on properties using the January 1st, 2024 taxable values. So we have received certified values from both Harris County Appraisal District and Galveston Central Appraisal District. 92% of the values that came in have been certified for a total of $31.1 billion. And we still have about 8% that is under review or has not been certified yet. So that is a total of $33.9 billion that was provided to us for values this year. This is about a 3.7% increase over last year's certified values at this time, if you're comparing what we received this year at this time last year and looking at it, what we have this time this year. So about a 3.7% increase. I wanted to provide just a little bit of information to you about what kind of property we have assessed in our school district. So single family residences make up 55% of the total value of in our school district. When you add on the multi-family residences, that brings it up to about 65%. And then about 31% is commercial and industrial value. So you'll see there's a few things in between, but really we're two-thirds residential and 1/3 commercial industrial makeup of our school district for the $33.9 billion value. So our proposed tax rate tonight is 96.9 cents total tax rate. That is made up of a 69.9 cent general fund tax rate and a 27-cent debt service fund tax rate. A few months ago, we sent in our information on our values and our value growth to TEA. And TEA, there's a calculation that they go through to determine how much our tax rate needs to be compressed. And so once we received that, we knew really what our baseline M&O tax rate was. And when you add on the 8 pennies, those golden pennies that we've adopted in the past, that brings it to the 69.9 cents. So a little bit of a 5-year history here for you to see. The total tax rate over the past 5 years has come down by 34.1 cents. On the M&O side, it has come down 27.1 cents, and the INS side has come down by 7 cents. I always like to show you how we fare or how our tax rate is compared to our area school districts. This is a list of districts in our Houston area that I was able to see if proposed or approved rates that were available. And so you'll see we're second to the bottom as far as tax rate goes. Houston ISD in the Houston area is really the only district that's has a lower tax rate than us, even though although they do have a 20% optional homestead exemption. They are the lowest tax rate of all of the districts. And there's about 5 districts represented here that have an optional homestead exemption. On the Galveston County side, you'll see that we're also second to the bottom in terms of tax rate. We have on the high end on the M&O rate is the Santa Fe ISD, and the Galveston ISD is the lowest M&O tax rate. And there are, it looks like, 3 districts that provide the optional homestead exemption in Galveston County. So finally tonight, we are asking for adoption of our tax rate. The 2023 tax rate was 97.46 cents. The voter approval tax rate, and this is a tax rate that is provided on the notice of the public meeting for the budget and tax rate. That rate is reflected here. Any rate that we were to adopt higher than that would require a voter approval tax rate election. So tonight, we are requesting that the board approve a 2024 tax rate of 96.9 cents. This will consist of a maintenance and operations tax rate of 69.9 cents per $100 of taxable value and an interest and sinking rate of 27 cents per $100 of taxable value. I will be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Benzai. Any questions, comments from the board?
And I'll just make a quick comment because I think if anyone's watching this meeting to figure out what led to a tax rate being adopted, there were a lot of previous meetings and workshops that have all kind of built up to this. But just for the public's awareness, the tax rate that we adopt for maintenance and operations is not something that we have any say over, essentially. If we go below the rate that is set, we lose state funding, and we're not allowed to go above the rate that's set. And so it doesn't seem like much of a cut compared to last year, but we essentially have a formula forced on us that results in a 2.5% increase in collections every single year. And so valuations didn't go up by much more than 2.5%, and so the rate that is set for us didn't go down by very much. So as much as we might like to cut taxes more, it would have, in addition to the lost revenue, it would also result in lower state funding as well. And so we're kind of stuck where we're stuck. And I think a lot of people who haven't followed school finance don't necessarily know that the rate is set for us. And so really what we're doing is almost ministerial. And then on the INS side, this is just kind of the first cycle where we're seeing the effect of the voter approved bonds kick in. And so my hope is that we'll have room to lower those in later years, but it just doesn't seem like we do here with all the projections that we've seen. So anyway, kind of my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Bone. Mr. Larson?
I have one more thing. You know, prior to the Vader election last year, I believe there was some information released that we were one of the 4 or 5 lowest, had one of the 4 or 5 lowest rates of any district in the state. Do you know, I would expect we would have slipped a few spots, you know, seeing as how we're taking 3 more cents than we did then. Do you know what that figure might be?
I don't have that, but I think I can pull that pretty easily and get that to you.
Okay.
In a weekly report. We're probably still very close to the bottom just because adding on the 3 pennies, you know, wouldn't have pushed us up that much higher than others, but I can definitely pull that data for you.
Well, I do observe that we really didn't move very much with regard to the 2 counties that we're in. I don't believe that, yeah, aside from Galveston and HISD, I don't think there's anybody else in those 2 counties that has a lower rate. So I would guess you're probably right about that.
And one of the things that the maximum compressed rate that TEA provides to us, there is a floor, which we are almost at that floor. So if our values had gone up a little bit more in that calculation, it would have brought us down a little bit more to the floor. And there are most of the districts in the state are sitting at that floor of that compressed rate right now. And so until the state brings that down more like they did last year, more and more districts will just keep hitting that floor and sitting there. So there probably, I'm sure, will be future more compression, but the state will have to change those formulas in those ranges so that the tax rates can go down further.
Thank you, Ms. Spencer. Mr. Rowan, did you have something
else? I almost wish, like next time we have this graph, I think it's important to include 2018 on there also, because 2018 to 2019 is another big jump, if I remember right. That it was several cents in a cut, and it was because of another compression, kind of like the one that we had after 2022.
Right.
So if I remember right, the rate was 140 before that.
I
And so-
believe it was.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it was.
So over the past 6 years, I mean, we've come quite a long way.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Any other comments or questions from the board?
No, so I was just gonna clarify, so you're basically going from $1.40 to roughly 97 cents now, which is huge. So,
It gets eaten up by appraisals.
yes, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. And I think if I heard Mr. Bowen correctly, maybe he's thinking we'll see increases in our allotment this next session, and that would allow us to possibly consider some additional breaks from a tax perspective.
Well, the way that always happens is they compress the rate that you're allowed to charge and then backfill it with additional funding. So that's what happened after 2022, and I hope it's what happens this session also.
It's that bucket that we always display where we have
The same size.
bucket stays the same, maybe growing a little bit, but it's just made up of different components, tax revenue or state revenue.
Bigger bucket. Bigger bucket this session would be
Right, we
nice.
want a bigger bucket with more in
Bigger
it.
bucket would be nice. It's time for a bigger bucket.
Yes.
Okay, any other comments from the board? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I will get to that page in
Page 62.
Homework. All right, I move that we adopt a 2024 tax rate of 96.9 or 96 or $0.969. That's probably the exact way to say it. The 2024 adopted total tax rate of 0.969 consists of a maintenance and operations tax rate of 0.699 per hundred of taxable value and an interest and sinking rate of 27 cents per hundred of taxable value.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Any other comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. And it passes unanimous. Thank you. Thanks, Ms. Benzoff. Item C, would any trustees like to submit individuals of 5 or less for the Galveston Central Appraisal District Board of Directors?
Mr. President?
Mr. Larson?
Yeah, I'd like to place the name of Chad Tressler in nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Any other names?
Can I ask a question of clarification?
Yes.
Community speaker tonight, Ms. Robin Collins, did she say that she was earlier nominated?
She said she was.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
She did. Any other nominations? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for the board to consider the individual, Chad Tressler, as one of our nominations for the Galveston Central Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Mr. President,
Mr. Cunningham?
I move that the board approve the resolution of the Clear Creek ISD Board of Trustees submitting the name of Chad Tressler to the Galveston Central Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other comments or questions from the board?
Mr. President,
Mr. Well?
I move to postpone indefinitely action on this motion. And I can speak to that.
Sure.
So, my feeling on these nominations is that unless there's a compelling reason otherwise, the entities that these individuals belong to are the ones that know them best, and they're the ones who should make nominations. So if someone from CCISD were running to be on an appraisal district, or wish to serve in that capacity, then I think I'd be supportive of nominating them. But this is not a final vote. It's just a nomination to put a name on a list. And so what a motion to postpone indefinitely does is it dispenses with a motion without actually voting down a person. I would make the same motion for anybody. So if it comes back for, unless it's one of us or someone from CCISD who's part of our board or our operation running, then I think we should allow the entities that those individuals belong to, and that individual is a city councilman, to make those nominations themselves. What my motion does, if you vote yes, is it clears the motion from consideration, but you don't actually have an up or down vote on that individual. And so I think it's a respectful way to do that, and just say that we don't want to take action at all.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Bowen. Mr. Larson?
Yes, and the reason I didn't formally make the motion, but the reason I would like us to consider that is that puts us in a position of depending on other organizations and entities to nominate people that are very likely to earn some of our votes in the voting process. And I think it would be just a huge embarrassment if we sat on our hands and while another entity dropped the ball. And that can happen and has happened. It hasn't happened recently in Galveston or Harris County, but it certainly could happen. And I'd just like to nominate the very few people that we have voted for in the past, just to prevent that from happening.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. And I think just for the public, the date that our nominations, if we were making any as a board, would be due to the Galveston Central Appraisal District prior to our next meeting, so we wouldn't have the opportunity, if that were to happen with another entity, to consider any additional names. So I think from a process perspective, we would consider Mr. Bowen's motion to postpone indefinitely, to dispense the nomination that was made. And so all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. And all those against? Okay. The motion does not pass. And then we will go to the motion that Mr. Larson made, which was to add Chad Tressler as CCISD's, one of CCISD's names being submitted for the Galveston Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. I'm sorry? You made that. I'm sorry. Yes. You asked the question. I apologize. So we will take a vote on Chad Tressler as the name that we're submitting forward. All those in favor, if you raise your right hand. And it passes unanimous. Thank you. Item D. That's correct. Thank you. So item D is for any names that the board would like to submit for the Harris County Appraisal District. Any names from the board? Okay, seeing none, then we will take no action, and we will move to adjourn the meeting at 7:52.